Tonight, ABC57 investigates judicial misconduct. A St. Joseph County judge is now back on the bench after serving a 45-day suspension ordered by the Indiana Supreme Court. And it looks like he will now inherit a client's multi-million-dollar estate.
You talk about your relationship with Russell Cartwright. Are you going to keep all the money, sir?
What ABC57 anchor Brian Coneybear uncovered may surprise you.
This story started in 2013, 10 years ago, when attorney Jason Chickowitz, now a probate court judge in charge of people's estates, represented a mentally ill man named Russell Cartwright in a divorce. They became close, and the next year, Chickowitz took over as Cartwright's power of attorney, paying all his bills. At the same time, Cartwright was found not competent to handle his finances by two psychiatrists. Then Chickowitz became the trustee of the $1.3 million nonprofit Cartwright Family Foundation. Then in 2015, Chickowitz was named the beneficiary of a Cartwright Trust Fund worth nearly $7 million, according to court documents. Then he became the co-owner of Cartwright's checking account as well. But just who was Russell Cartwright?
You know, that's right there is Russell's personality. That was Russell. He even had that on his driver's license. You know, he was just a silly guy, always making jokes, making faces.
Celeste Roche was paid $250 a day to help care for eccentric multimillionaire Russell Cartwright in South Bend on and off for 20 years.
I'd drive out here once a week. We'd go to lunch and I'd clean, do his laundry, make him meals, and go back home. Russell was like, loved his schedules. He, you know, I was Wednesdays. You know, there was other people different days, you know, so, and I would call him every night.
Born Levering Russell Cartwright, his father a successful stockbroker in Chicago, he went to Harvard University and its law school too. But mental health issues, including bipolar disorder, mania, and psychosis, changed him over the years.
The mental illness drove the family apart.
8 months before he died in October, Cartwright's estranged children visited their father with Celeste Roche at a Mishawaka assisted living facility.
It was a very happy visit. You know, it had nothing to do with anything but visiting family and reconnecting and making peace with each other.
But that visit came right after the Indiana State Supreme Court announced in February it was investigating St. Joseph County probate court judge Jason Chickowitz, all stemming from possible judicial misconduct surrounding his longtime client and friend, Russell Cartwright, and his money.
That's when me and his children were escorted out, and I was threatened to be arrested if I came back to the property because they said there was a restraining order. I never received a restraining order.
Roche says something just didn't feel right, and she thought back to 2020.
That's when Bank of America had stepped in and was looking into senior abuse with Russell.
As we started investigating this case, ABC57 News obtained court documents, wills, trusts, and more, including this lawsuit filed by Bank of America to try and block Judge Jason Chickowitz from transferring Russell Cartwright's nearly $7 million trust to the Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, in the judge's name, not Cartwright's. Federal Judge Damon Lichty writing, quote, Bank of America suspected elder abuse, so it blocked the transfer, unquote. Even before that, in 2017, there was another court case over a car Russell Cartwright gave to a friend, a judge ordering it returned because, quote, Cartwright did not have the capacity to make any coherent decisions during the time period. This includes decisions related to finance, business, and/or personal transactions, unquote. And in this 2020 affidavit, Russell Cartwright very clearly stated his nearly $7 million trust and, quote, virtually all assets owned by me, whether in trust or otherwise, are to be distributed to Jason Chickowitz, adding, I have not been unduly influenced, coerced, pressured, threatened, compelled, or otherwise taken advantage of by Jason Chickowitz or anyone else. He has provided meaningful assistance when I needed it, and I honestly and sincerely believe that his actions and counsel have saved my life, unquote.
The core, I guess, tenet of judicial ethics is to avoid impropriety and the appearance of impropriety. And this is a situation that doesn't look good.
Professor Chad Oldfather teaches judicial ethics at Marquette University School of Law in Milwaukee. He reviewed the case and all the court documents for us.
This looks to be a situation where, even if the smoke isn't indicative of any underlying fire, the rules call for the avoiding of smoke in the first place, and there seems to be plenty of smoke here.
In August, Judge Chikowitz was suspended from his job for 45 days by the Indiana Supreme Court after it found he, quote, engaged in judicial misconduct by continuing to serve in a fiduciary position for a non-family member after taking office, abusing the prestige of his office to benefit a family member, and failing to disclose his role as trustee of a charitable foundation from which he drew funds to further court improvement projects, unquote. That's because in February of 2019, the Commission on Judicial Qualifications found newly elected Judge Chikowitz used nearly $156,000 from the Cartwright Family Foundation he controlled to pay for improvements inside the St. Joseph County Juvenile Justice Center, using his own father's company, R&K Ceramic Tile, to do the work, and buying 3 cars for the court-appointed Special Advocate program housed at the JJC through another one of his father's companies, Victory Auto LLC in Mishawaka, and for purposely hiding the source of the money, according to the commission.
Even if his dad was giving him a deal, right? Even if that's the best deal available and it was actually for the public's benefit, you just don't do that. There are requirements for bids to be collected, typically in public projects like this. And so to circumvent those, it's not a good look, right? Things should be transparent, and it doesn't appear that they were.
Chikowitz's defense attorney, Donald Lundberg, telling ABC57 News at the time the allegations came out, quote, Judge Jason Chikowitz did not commit attorney or judicial misconduct, adding he, quote, successfully and legally obtained private funds to improve his court at no cost to the taxpayer and at no personal benefit to himself. Judge Chikowitz did not return our calls, texts, and emails, so we approached him on the way to work recently.
Are you going to keep all the money, sir? Aren't you inheriting his fortune? No?
But his defense attorney did email us this statement, saying, quote, Judge Chikowitz looks forward to getting back to work for the citizens of St. Joseph County and is not interested in a media interview at this time. This 3-page letter of support was written to the Commission on Judicial Qualifications as part of its investigation, apparently shakily signed by Russell Cartwright himself, reading, quote, I find it deeply troubling the Judicial Commission would ever seek to sanction Judge Chikowitz. The matter pushed against Judge Chikowitz should never have been brought. I never once complained about any actions that he took and have always held him in the highest regard. Judge Chikowitz did not personally gain from anything that took place, unquote. At the time that letter was written, though, Cartwright was virtually bedridden, in assisted living. His first name was even misspelled below the scrawled signature, with only 1 L on Russell instead of 2. And you can compare it to the 2020 signature from Cartwright's trust affidavit. What did you make of that letter, and do you think Russell Cartwright actually wrote it?
Well, and I'm not in a position to say whether Russell Cartwright wrote the letter or didn't write the letter. It inherently raises questions about, did he actually write this letter? Was this letter written for him? Did he actually sign it? Was he induced to sign it under misleading conditions? Whether the letter's legit, I can't tell you that. Should we be in a situation where we have to ask that question? No, not at all.
Russell has not been treated properly.
Celeste Roche says she's heartbroken Cartwright was left alone in a nursing home in his final days, and she doesn't want Jason Chikowitz to benefit from all his former clients' money that could have been spent making the 83-year-old more comfortable.
This is my friend, and this is how he's living. It's just not right. He's done so good for people, and he's been taken advantage over the years. And, it just breaks my heart.
As part of its judicial misconduct investigation, the commission also found Judge Chickowitz got a Cadillac Escalade and access to a $375,000 IRA from Russell Cartwright over the years. Judge Jason Chickowitz will be up for re-election as a Democrat to the St. Joseph County Probate Court, overseeing people's wills, trusts, and estates again next November.